Okay, cool. Part 2.
Yeah, part 2. And we're back. Okay, cool. So, hi again.
Hi again.
Yeah, it's not many of my podcasts that had edits, so this is a special episode. But no, man, I'm really enjoying the conversation. I just wanted to ask you some dance, or not even specific questions. I'm just interested in your dance career and what you're doing and stuff like that. Is the battle stuff like the main focus of what you're doing, or are you trying to spread everything? Because I think I probably know you more from battles. I think yeah, I guess and then I obviously the more you see people you know on Instagram or whatever, you see the other stuff that they're working on or whatever. But yeah, what's your kind of creative drive or focus?
I think something about me is that I've actually done everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying in the panel.
Yeah, I said that in the panel discussion before. So I've been a very commercial dancer. So I've done shows where I only did choreography. I presented the new car. So I've danced for Porsche, and the new electric Porsche came out. So we've been showing all the features.
Yeah.
I've done trade fairs where I've had performances 5 times a day.
Oh wow.
Super exhausting.
Yeah.
Sometimes for 3 weeks in a row, every day, 5 times a day.
This is all as a breaker?
All as a breaker. No, I would say as a dancer.
Oh, you did kind of more general stuff as well?
Yeah, I've done a little education. It's called it's the education from Sonia Battucelli. It's in Berlin, 3 months, where I've done ballet every morning.
Oh wow.
Choreography.
Okay.
It's been 4 to 5 different classes every day, and
amazing.
It's been a lot of choreography, a lot of technique.
Okay, so you're really all rounder.
Yeah, but I am a breaker. That's my main focus. I started with performing on weddings, performing on street carnivals, street fairs, performing for artists in the background, music videos. I've done tours. We have a German rock star who actually even had a little impact on my youth, because he did a little audiobook called Tabaluga, which is a little dragon, and he's fighting the evil snowman. And I'm not sure if he even wrote the stories. I don't think he wrote the stories, but he sang the starting melody. Oh wow. And all this. So his being on tour with him was obviously super cool, and it was a 4-month tour.
Yeah. Wow.
Through whole Germany. I did theater, very experimental theater.
Okay.
I mentioned downstairs, which made the audience giggle. Sometimes people were running naked full with ham. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
And the funny side
with ham,
story.
you said?
Yeah, they put ham all over their body and ran around naked and had a duet.
Well, I'm not surprised. I've seen a lot of weird theater.
Yeah. But yeah, I've done that too. Yeah. I wasn't the one being naked, just mentioning that.
Before people are trying to YouTube this.
You won't find any footage on YouTube. So I told the choreographer, I can't do this. Yeah. I'm not taking off my clothes on stage. So she tried to find a solution. So her solution was the scene before. They took sticky tape, and just taped me to the floor. So I was just stuck to the floor for the whole scene while they were doing some kind of act with ham on their body. I've done classic theater where I played The Merchant of Venice.
Oh wow, nice. Speaking roles and stuff. Yeah. Okay, nice.
I was the daughter of the merchant.
Oh wow.
Who is the daughter of the merchant, who is a Jew and turns to the Christians.
Merchant of Venice is Shakespeare.
Yes,
it's the Pound of Flesh.
Exactly. The Pound of Flesh, exactly. So I've done classic theater. I've done experimental theater. I've done. I work with Silke Grabinger, which is an amazing choreographer from Austria.
Okay.
Where I learned so much about the contemporary dance theater. But then again, I did the big commercial shows. I did. I performed as a dancer at Perukaville, which is one of the biggest house techno festivals, I think. EDM music festivals, and we've been performing. I pretty much just freestyle for hours on stage while the big DJs were just pushing their buttons.
Oh wow!
So when you ask me what have I done in my career, I've done so much.
Yeah.
But at the end, I felt like I did all this to have a budget for breaking and battles.
Right.
Because battles. I love competition. Not because I want to be the best. I just like to get challenged.
Yeah, it's fun to compete.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like telling me that you know me from the battles is obviously telling me that I've done the right thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, right now I'm at the point that I actually I'm a sponsored athlete.
Yes, I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was the first ever breaking athlete signed by Nike.
Yeah.
I used to work with Red Bull. I worked with an insurance company in Germany, and honestly, being able to work as an athlete, being able to have my training and the battles as my source of income, it's just a dream coming true.
I bet. Yeah. This is.
It's just also had so many sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I'm still sacrificing so much.
course.
And this is something that people need to be aware of.
I bet.
Living your dream is never easy.
Oh yeah. It's like it's just a whole new set of problems. You know, it's
Exactly.
like maybe not the same problems, but still problems.
Yeah.
But so let's again. I'm going to ask you about the Nike situation. You tell me what you don't want to answer, can't answer.
Yeah.
That's fine.
My contract is confidential.
Yeah,
but
of course.
most things I want to talk about too.
So Nike come to you and say, we want you to be like a sponsored athlete, right? So I guess I know a little bit. I've been in certain places.
You want me to interrupt you really quick?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the story of how I got in
Yeah,
contact
let's
with
do
Nike.
that. Let's start
because
there.
it wasn't exactly like that. So just talking about the general, in case we have audience that is not so aware of how breaking or where breaking is standing.
Sure.
Breaking is becoming Olympic in 2024, but we really didn't have many sponsors. We have Red Bull being very open with their budget, not open about their budget, but they really put a lot of budget in breaking. We had Monster, I think 1 or 2 dancers work with G-Shock.
Yeah.
But we really didn't have big sponsorships in breaking.
Yeah.
So there was a time where I was working with Puma, actually.
Okay.
In 2018 and 19, I was working with Puma. But the conversation was always, okay, let's have a contract. And they were always like, yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Nothing.
And even when we were supposed to have a conversation about the contract, I was invited to the headquarters of Puma. They just told me all the things they're going to do with, I think, Ariana Grande and all these things. And when I asked the essential questions that were important for me, I asked like, okay, but who are your main athletes, especially female athletes? They couldn't answer it. So that's when I realized that I think I'm really talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about... no problem.
Hi, Joe.
So,
That's Monkey Flip Media coming in the room with sandwiches.
yes.
Yeah, sorry.
I think Puma saw me as an influencer and as a cute girl smiling on Instagram, but I think they didn't really realize who they were talking to.
Yeah.
Because that's not the only thing I am. I'm
course.
not the superficial person who just likes to show fancy outfits.
Yeah.
So, and then it was kind of crazy because a friend of mine that is also training at the Flying Steps Academy, she worked as a trainer for Nike, and Nike asked her, hey, do you know any breakers? Because they realized, hey, breaking is going to be Olympic.
This is after the Olympic announcement.
Exactly. And no, actually, I think it was before even. I think it was.
But maybe they heard something that...
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
the scenes.
Since the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, I think it was...
Yeah, gonna happen.
Yeah, people were aware of the fact that it could happen.
Yeah.
So Nike they just wanted to know what is happening. They just wanted to get reliable sources. So they asked her, hey, do you know any breakers? So she was like, hey, Jilou, can I pass your contact? And that was funny because that was just after I had this conversation with Puma where I realized they don't know who they're talking to. Exactly. Timing was perfect.
Yeah.
So they contacted me just 1 or 2 days later, and I was just like, hell, yeah, let's have a conversation. So we met in a cafe, and I think they thought they were gonna meet me for like maybe 20, 45 minutes, something like this. We ended up being in the cafe for about 3 hours.
Wow.
Me telling them what it means, what breaking means, the history, where we come from, where we want to go, preserving culture.
Can I just clarify something?
Yes.
Is this Nike like Germany, or it's like someone from global?
They were from Nike Germany, but Nike has a really good. They are really well connected.
Okay, so it's all. If you're talking to one, it's gonna be part of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, the whole company will know.
Okay. Cool. Sorry.
No. And then I had this conversation, and then you saying like, oh, maybe Nike came to you and asked you like, hey, we want to make a contract with you.
Yeah.
That was not what happened, because what
Okay.
happened was they just wanted information. But I gave them information, but I always told them like, I'm going to stop here because I don't want you to abuse my knowledge.
Yes.
So I stopped.
So glad you said that.
I always gave them information that was really interesting, but I stopped when it became actually interesting. I always told them like, hey, yeah, we have so many underground events, but hey, I can't tell you all the events. You can do your research, or we work together. So I dropped in the first conversation that I ever had. It's like, I'm not interested in short-term collaborations. I'm not interested in a big company abusing my knowledge and my position. I want a contract or nothing. So it was, and I felt like, okay, either I absolutely ruined this, or they know what I want. And well, the good thing is, they were like, oh, okay.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And then I think that was in summer, in about June or July. And I think by October, I had a contract for a trial contract that went on for just 3 months. And we did one collaboration with Snipes that had a really beautiful video. And I had so much influence on that video. They didn't just produce it and had somebody taking care of everything. No, I wrote the voiceover. I wrote it myself, and I also did the voiceover myself. I could tell them I had influence on the outfit. I had influence on practically the whole video, and they asked me what I feel comfortable with. They showed me some beats, if I'm okay with the beats, and I was just, totally.
Yeah, great.
That's cool.
Amazing.
So it's super interesting to work with a company that actually respects you as an athlete. But yeah, this is just the history, because the thing is, it's
so sick.
When people think like, oh, probably a company is going to come to me and going to ask me like, hey, you want to work with me? No, that's not what's happening. Yes.
This is so dope for so many reasons. Like, I think one thing that, where to start? Fuck. I think what's sick is like, and I've been dealing with this recently, where a lot of companies will do this thing where they'll kind of just, hey, we just need some advice, or can you? And because a lot of people are kind of gassed to be speaking, like excited to be speaking to a certain company. They want to prove themselves almost. Like, oh, I know all the stuff. Let me tell you all the stuff. And it's like, it's that combined with the fact that we don't value our knowledge as a resource. And I'm only getting there in the last year or so. Like, I'm starting to realize like my advice is a job. Like, and I have enough experience in certain aspects where it's like, you know, like, let's say here, like maybe event organizers might ask me something like, oh, how should we run our event? And I just like to chat. So maybe I'm like, oh, you could do this. And they're like, well, what could we do about this? And at a certain point, I'm like, I studied events in uni. I ran dance events in the UK, and I've been in the UK scene for like 15 years. So this combined is something you can pay for. It's exactly. Like, I know the scene, I know events, and I know like how things are supposed to be from experience and whatever. And that's a job. Like, people can pay you a salary to advise about events, advise about your career. Even, you know, when younger dancers ask you like, oh, what could I do with my career? And it's like, there's a part of it where you want to give back and help people. And I do this all the time. But also there's a time when it's like, you could pay me for career advice, you know? And it's like, it's one thing when it's just a young dancer that doesn't have a job. It's like, fine. But
I think it depends on who you're talking to. But if you're talking to
Nike,
one of the biggest companies in the world, then you definitely know they have a budget and they have, they should not get this knowledge for free.
Exactly.
If we're talking to, I had a super nice conversation with Ronnie about that, and that he's mentoring so many people as far as I know. And he has had advised somebody who was just outstanding from his surroundings. So he actually realized to motivate that person to change his life, move to the States, and actually go for his dreams. And I think it really depends on, as you say, like, are we talking to a company who has a budget and about people at the end profiting that I don't even know from my knowledge? Or is it somebody where at the end, because I've been, I also studied marketing.
Oh, cool.
I don't have a bachelor. I didn't finish it, but yeah, I do know a lot about marketing, and I know about the scene. I know I have my insights. So I do a lot of social media marketing, and I've been advising so many people with their accounts, and I actually realized that what I do works. And when it comes to B-boys and B-girls, I do want them to be successful. I
Sure.
want people to have successful social media accounts. But obviously, if somebody else, if a company would hire me, I want my salary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you say, like knowledge is something that is so precious.
Yeah.
And
And is something you can charge for. And I think that's such a sick story in that sense, that you had the understanding and the foresight to be like, let me stop there, I'll give you the rest when you pay for it, which is like, I think we need to do that more often, especially with these companies and stuff. And it's not,
but then also props to Nike, because they
of course,
did that.
yeah. And it's not,
And
it's
again,
not
like,
a
I've
sorry,
had conversations
Yeah.
with so many companies, and it's not the first company where I tried to work with.
And some don't, and
And
some
exactly,
and it's not a negative thing. It's not like being money hungry. It's not being a horrible person. That's business. Because I guarantee you can have all the followers in the world, be the best speaker, but if you walked into Nike and said, "Hey, can I have some free shit?" they maybe are going to say, "We give you a t-shirt, one pair of trainers, but that's all. Next you have to come back, or we give you discount or something like that." So you do the same to them. Like, "Hey, you want this information? I'll give you some. You pay for the rest."
Discount on more.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, and they're not going to be like, who does she think she is? They're like, okay, a businesswoman. Let me give you the thing that you need. Cool, let's carry on. Anyway, and it's like, this is how business works, and this is how the world works, really, in terms of money and services being exchanged for things. And I think it's easy to forget that, being like this kind of culture that we're in, the way we treat each other is maybe not the same way we need to treat companies and business.
Absolutely.
There's business and then there's culture, and it's not the same thing.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, that's really cool. And the other thing that I love about the story is like, I'm actually, it's even cooler that they didn't approach you, because it would be cool. I already thought it was cool that I'm like, damn, like hit you up and wanted to give you a sponsorship. Like, that's cool. Like, that's like making it. But it's like, it's even more making it that you made it happen yourself, And I think that's like, that makes it 10 times cooler for me. The fact that is like, you were like, pulled the strings and found a thing and found a way to be like, cool, I'm on contract with Nike, But I guess the question that I was going to ask originally is like, what does the contract look like in terms of the details of it, but what exactly is the role that you're doing with Nike? Is it like they are enabling you, basically, like, obviously, like the basic sponsorship that we tend to know about in the world is like, you wear our stuff, go on a big stage, and everybody that sees you is going to want to buy our stuff because you're wearing it, right? But then also there's probably more layers and different stuff, so I don't know how much you can talk about, but what is the kind of exchange? Like, Nike are hiring you to promote their company or to show that they're involved in breaking? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the...
I think that's a really cool question, to be honest, because I think that's what everybody thinks, that's a sponsorship.
Yeah.
And that could be a sponsorship.
Sure.
That's a very simple sponsorship, right? We see
It's the straightforward one.
Yeah, exactly. It's very straightforward. But I actually recently had a really cool conversation with Nike, and they were talking about the 3 different sorts of people they work with. If it's a sponsorship or if it's just a collaboration.
Yeah.
If it might be completely wrong, but they mentioned that you can put the collaborations, the people they work with, in 3 different aspects, and one is obviously the athlete chapter.
Yeah.
So it's just about performing the performance.
Yes,
That's what it's called, performance. So you have the performance, you have the competitions. Even if you talk about Rihanna, like, she has her concerts.
Yeah.
Let's put me and Rihanna. Like I do my competitions. I wear my gear, and that's it.
Okay.
Rihanna does her concerts, right? So then they have another one that's called culture.
Okay.
The culture means that Rihanna obviously is an artist. She has music as a culture. She has her representing Barbados, representing people of color.
Yeah.
Same goes for me, representing people of color as well. But also representing the hip hop culture itself, and representing what hip hop stands for. So we have this whole thing. So even if I wouldn't be performing great at the competitions, I'm still here at Groovanometry, right? So
you're still a part of the scene.
Exactly, still part of the scene, still having these conversations.
Sure.
That's another aspect that they have for their collaborations. And then the third one is purpose.
Okay.
And purpose means what do the people actually stand for? You don't have to be part of a culture, right?
Like Colin Kaepernick, kind of.
Yeah, for example. I mean, yeah, he's also an athlete.
Sure, of course, yeah.
But let's say he would be performing horribly, but he's still known for. I mean, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a little excerpt. It's the guy who did the knee, right? Yeah. So and this is something, Rule 50. That's what it's called. If you Rule 50 in the Olympics is that you're not allowed to
protest.
to do
a political statement.
To do a political statement while you're in the competition. You can do anything
before and after,
but while you're doing the competition, you're not allowed to do political statements. Let's not talk about that rule, but yeah, Colin Kaepernick was known to go down on his knee.
I think, if I'm right, he got picked up. Whether or not he got picked up by Nike before or during that moment, he had a big campaign that came out when after he took the knee for or those times that he did it. But I think if I'm right, he wasn't signed to a team at that point. He was a free.
Wasn't he even kicked out? I think
and he couldn't get in.
It was during a game, as far as I know.
Yeah,
right? It was during a game.
But I think he did it a few times, and then But as far as I know, when his big campaign came out, he wasn't playing for a team. So that's why I say, when you said even if he's performing horribly, it's like he wasn't even on the field.
Exactly.
He was just a figure that had a purpose.
That is purpose. Same thing. I don't even know if Michael Jordan is still under contract, but that is purpose.
Yeah, he's probably he is his own contract.
Or we have if we talk about Red Bull athletes, we still have let's say Jilou. Yeah. No, we're talking about breakers. Jilou is a super famous breaker, but he's not. If he's doing a competition, people don't want to see him. I mean, they want to see him win, but it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's not about the
It doesn't matter if he wins or not.
Jilou.
It's just Jilou.
He has nothing to lose anymore. He already won. Same thing goes when Flea Rock went on that stage this past BC1 Red Bull BC1 final. But yeah, talking about Jilou, he does so much for low income people.
Really,
he does so much for people, Middle Eastern people. He does so much to stand in for, even if he just stands in as somebody who shows them you can reach your goals.
Things and,
that is purpose.
Wow. Okay.
That is purpose. So this is where, and then if you ask me how Nike works,
sure. Yeah.
And then I heard something amazing that said you kind of fit in all three.
Oh wow.
And this is obviously, yes, I have my bronze medal 2 times in a row at the World Championships. I am part of the culture, and I like to highlight that also with my voice. I like to show hey, it's about love, peace, and having fun, and educate people on the history of hip hop, educate them on the foundation. But then at the same time, yes, I speak up on social problems in society, discrimination. We just had a whole podcast about that. So this is
amazing.
When you ask me how Nike works. I think I'm super lucky to be with a company that actually listens to me, and because we have conversations where we just talk about what I care about, what is my message, what do I want to achieve, what do I want to do, and they actually listen. They might not be able to fulfill every little dream of mine, but I know that they, because it's still a company.
Yeah, of course.
But we still want to work together to make the world a little better. And this is something that I really have the feeling that Nike wants. Maybe they're not using their own platform, but they actually want to amplify my voice.
Sure.
They want to support my message.
Yeah, and, amazing. That's so cool that you feel like that as well.
I do.
And that's so great. And it's you can get this sponsorship for being who you are, without having to perform or to achieve certain goals. And it's yes, okay, that helps that you're a great dancer and you're successful in your competition, but that it's not okay, it's only that. And if I don't achieve as well, or I lose one battle or something, my worth isn't gone. It's we are sponsoring you for who you are, and that is not dependent on how many battles you win, which is that sounds like the perfect situation.
Well, I mean, I'm still signed as an athlete.
Sure.
So yes, I do have also a little bit of pressure.
Okay. Oh, really? Is there a quota or?
No, my contact is super, super positive, and it's more I'm not getting any shit when I don't perform well, but I'm getting motivation. I'm getting a lot of congratulations from the Nike team,
Mm-hmm.
from the Nike. We call it the Nike family because it's already it became a good team and
Yeah.
we're in great conversations. So when I had my medal at the last championships, I got so many messages as well from the Nike team.
Oh wow,
And
nice.
That's more of a motivation. Yes,
Yeah.
they want me to like achieve my goals. The goals that I'm setting, let's say making it always to the top 10 in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
But they won't get mad at me.
Right. If you
But yeah.
don't, yeah.
My results matter too.
Okay. So is it something where there's like a is there again? I you don't want to too much into your contract, but like, do they kind of give you anything to any? How do I say that? Lower end things like minimum requirements. You have to attend this many battles. You have to place here. Anything like that, or is it more just do the best you can, or
I would say so again, Nike is a company that really cares about or let's say I think in every company it matters who you're talking to, but
Yeah, sure.
I am lucky enough to talk about even to talk with an athlete. She was a runner and so she knows she has been on European the highest level. I think
Oh,
she
wow.
was the European champion
Oh, wow,
running.
okay.
So she knows how it feels, and she's been under contract with Nike before as well. So it's just really nice to have this contact. So talking about, honestly, I don't even know because
Okay.
my contract is really fresh. I'm
Okay.
signed since May 2021.
Okay.
So again, it's really fresh, and we're still establishing that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my results matter, but at the same time, we don't know where this journey is going yet.
So it's still like feeling it out and figuring out what the
Exactly.
and again, answer or don't answer if you don't want to. But is it a situation of like a salary, or is it like something where you're working for certain benefits or something like that? Is it like a freelance type of contract, or how? I don't know how much you can say or not say.
Okay. Let me think.
But if you're not sure if you can answer, maybe we don't.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like how I can, because I want people to know what is possible. I have a salary,
Okay.
a yearly salary,
Okay.
and I think that's very normal for an athlete,
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Of
any
course.
athlete. But that salary also depends on my results.
Got you.
Let's say it like this.
So is it when you say is that like kind of bonuses, or is it more like it can vary depending on each time? Like every year we renegotiate this contract.
I am so let's just talk about what types of contract exist.
Okay. Cool.
So in general, because it's not my first contract.
Sure.
So there are yearly contracts and they get negotiated every year.
Yeah.
And there's longer contracts and they go about, some contracts can go 10 years.
Yes, sure.
10-year
I guess similar
contracts.
to like contracts with like a basketball team or something. Like
Yeah,
we're going to
probably.
sign you for 10 million for 10 years, or
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
exactly,
this type of
exactly.
thing, and you're going to
Yeah.
play for us for 10 years or.
So yeah, I prefer not to talk about my contract in
Of
particular,
course, yeah.
but let's just say like in general, there's contracts that have like again, they get renegotiated every year, but then there's contracts that are really long. Everything has its positive
Yeah,
and negative
sure, sure.
aspects. Obviously, if you have a long-term contract that goes for, let's say, 5 years, then you know for the next 5 years, I'm going to be okay.
But also,
Right.
if you do a lot in 2 years, you're worth
Exactly.
more than what and this is where they try to get the right deal out of you. Again, it's
Exactly.
from watching sports. I understand this from like basketball. Is like, okay, you sign for 5 years, but you don't know how good you're going to get after
Of course.
2. And then now you're like, shit, they're getting a better deal. Or you like get injured or something like that. Like not you, but like a basketball player gets injured. And then he's like, hey, I'm getting paid the same for the next 3 years, even if I'm on the bench. So then
Exactly.
you got the good deal. And
Exactly.
it's like this negotiation of like, okay, what's it's almost like a gamble. It's like, what do I think is going to happen? What do I think is the right way to do this? And yeah.
No, I mean, like contracts can include everything. They can include bonus schedules as well.
Okay.
It really depends on the contract. But usually, I think athletes usually get bonus schedules where they get paid a certain bonus when they achieve certain results.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing that is happening in most sports. This is actually even happening on a national level.
Okay.
And this is something in the Olympics that is maybe interesting for everybody who is now thinking about like, oh, if athletes win the gold medal, they're going to be rich. And this is interesting because that is not something the Olympics don't pay.
No. Yeah. It's supposed to be an amateur competition, right? Or like not amateur,
but like the Olympics. I don't know if there's even a prize money on the gold medal. I think it's more like I don't think so either. I think the gold itself has a certain value.
Sure.
But well, if I win the gold medal, I'm not willing to pay that to sell that. I'm definitely not selling that gold medal. So no, the country is actually giving you
incentives,
a bonus.
Yeah. Right.
So and I think you can Google that how much your country is paying.
Sure.
I know Germany.
Like as in the government will.
The government.
This isn't like anything to do with Nike. This is like
this is
the actual
government.
country will bonus you if you win a gold medal.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Exactly.
Okay, I didn't know that.
In Germany, it's somewhere in the 5 figures.
Oh wow.
So it's not bad, but it's also not great.
It's not life changing.
Exactly.
It's just well done.
Exactly. The federations pay bonuses, just like for example, even if soccer but what's it called? Not federations, soccer. If Manchester United wins the Premier League,
right?
They don't only get maybe bonus from their sponsors, but they also get bonus from the players get bonus from Manchester United itself.
Right, because they achieved the thing.
Exactly.
The thing that you want.
So, those are all. And again, this is every contract is different, and every contract has to be negotiated.
And it's like custom for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is something that I would give to every person who's negotiating a contract. First of all, get professional help, somebody who knows.
Yeah.
And find out your own value as well, and what are the realistic approaches, what are the realistic results that you're gonna achieve. I think so. The thing is, the goal for an athlete would be being able to train every day, being able to perform without having in your mind, oh my god, how am I gonna pay rent next month?
I guess the goal, even if you're like in a way, like I feel like I made it because I'm like, I'm living off my art, like my photography, my video work, my dance pays all my bills. Like I don't have any other jobs that aren't that. Hopefully the podcast is going to add to that, but but it's like still within that, it's like I'm doing video, let's say one of my more incomes, like higher incomes, is video filming work, and some of that is like corporate stuff or stuff that I don't love doing. I just it's work. But I think the beautiful thing about this is like this thing like it's like I'm only going to do the stuff that makes me and that I want to do and makes me happy. And you don't have to even if you were already living off dance, like you don't have to do this. You don't have to have ham and get naked. You know what I mean?
Yes, jump around naked with ham on your skin.
Yeah. So it's like it takes off that pressure to do anything but what you want.
Absolutely. I think working as a dancer has a lot to do with knowing which route you want to go, because as a dancer there's so many ways that you can perform. I mean, again, you can just be like, okay, let me do freestyle, let me do choreography. Those are already two different things. Let me do theater or let me do commercial. Let me do long-term projects, let me do short-term projects. There's just woohoo music. Let's go.
That's we've been interrupted.
I think they turned on the wrong.
Sorry guys.
It's fine. We're gonna be back in just a few seconds. I'm gonna entertain the people. Okay, cool. I can do a little dance solo. But yeah, hey, this is also interesting because a lot of unexpected things happen in dance careers as well. This is an illustration. Just a demonstration of what can happen in dance because and this is something actually. What if you are at a job? What if you signed the contract, but then your client asks you to do something that you weren't asked before and that you feel comfortable about?
That you feel uncomfortable.
that you feel uncomfortable about.
Yeah.
Exactly, because there's been like moments where I was just like, oh my god, because I was performing and there were a lot of really rich, I would say 95% men in the audience, and we were supposed to do this show, and the show was cool, but then a day before the first show we were asked to do some animation usually means that you're a professional dancer and you dance. It's in other parts you would call it go-go, like you don't dance in the you kind of like make the people dance and have a good time, but you're just not doing a performance.
Okay, like
So-
almost like crowd hyping.
Yeah,
kind of
hyping them
thing?
up,
Okay.
walking around. So we had really cool costumes. We had like complete bodysuits, completely full with little mirrors.
Oh wow, cool.
So it was not that we were dancing in like
Yeah.
something sexually super attractive
Suggestive,
or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, we just looked it looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, we looked sexy because we are sexy. But that was not the costume. That's not the message of the costume. So
Sure.
we were asked to do that, but then our show was a 45-minute show already, and then they asked us to do another 45 minutes afterwards, and we did that the first night, and we all regretted it because I got asked probably 3 times how much my costs would be for the night.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's part
Wowza.
it's interesting. It's unfortunately part of the business that
Yeah.
they would ask you. They see you as a prostitute.
Yeah.
It's hurtful, and that's when we realized we shouldn't have agreed
Yeah.
to actually
Right.
even be.
Or at least
in
you're
that
not doing
situation.
it again.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like one night, okay, but now I know.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. So these things happen in the industry, and it's just, I think sometimes it's just knowing what you want to do and what you don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
really important.
Yeah, and I guess it's like, this is why it's important to understand your contract and to read your shit and to know that you have power. Like it's again, it's like something maybe I'm learning as I'm getting older, but I see a lot of young dancers that maybe just go along with stuff or accept stuff because it's like, oh, they're the ones paying me, or even they're not paying me. It's just an older choreographer that said, even, I'm not talking about inappropriate things like this, but maybe like I have to perform these 6 shows and blah blah because I'm in this company, and it's like, are you getting paid? No. Then say I'm not doing them. Like, or are you getting paid? Yes, but that's not enough to do 6 shows. I'll do 2, and if you don't want me to, then I'm not doing. You know what I mean? And it's like some people are like, again, not whether we're talking about something as extreme as this type of thing that makes you feel uncomfortable, or just like I'm working in, say, like people that are attending like 5 rehearsals a week for a show, and it's like, you're not getting paid enough to rehearse 5 days a week. It's like, hey, based on what you're offering me as a fee, I will attend 1 rehearsal a week. If you can't do it, if you can't get this show together with 1 rehearsal a week, pay me more or don't do the show. Like,
Yeah.
you're allowed to say that because you have that power as dancers. It's not just, oh, somebody asked me, I have to do. Well, it's hard, but I have to do it. I'm being paid. It's like, you have to, Joe, the amount of interruptions we've had, don't worry about coming in. But we've just had like 4 or 5 people just making noise. It's fine. But yeah, so it's like, I just, like, I mean, I love this coming from you and for you to say it, because it's like, it's good for people to hear that from you. But it's like, yeah, I just wish people would, understand the power that they have. And you don't have to be someone super famous or successful just as a dancer if you're in a project. Because if you don't go on stage and if you not going on stage means that there's no show, you are the one with power. Like in a battle, it's like the organizers are not the one with power. The judges are not the one with power. Like, because if I'm in the finals and I don't compete, you don't have a finals.
Yeah.
Even if nobody enters the prelims, you don't have an event. So it's like, we have the power to say like, hey, this is not cool. Like whether it's a job, whether it's this type of thing, whether it's a battle, whatever, it's like, we got to have a bit more like conviction and like, hey, that's not cool. And it's not to be like, yeah, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, sorry, I'm a professional and this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Fix it. Because
Exactly.
they'll do it to us. You know what I mean? It's like we show up, we're judging at an event that we've been paid, and we show up late. We might not get paid, or they hire someone else, or whatever it might be, or a commercial job or something. You show up late for rehearsals.
Yeah.
So if you're going to treat me like that, I'm also going to treat you like that. Hey, this is not adequate for me. Sorry, I'm not doing it. So
Yeah, I think something, again, dancers in particular, we get abused so many times. Our skill gets abused so many times. It's just yeah, I can really just encourage everybody to really read every contract you're given, every single little contract. How many years is the cameraman or the company going to have the rights over what you're filming right now?
Yep.
I really don't mind right here getting down for the cameraman so that you have some footage for Groovanometry.
Yeah.
But at the end, that cameraman can sell that footage.
Yep.
But the good thing is he has no signature.
Yeah.
So if he can show my signature that he has the right for his footage,
Yeah.
so then he can sell it and he can make a fortune with my footage.
Yeah.
So, and I did have that experience that I actually did a job where they were like, yeah, we're such a small company. We just do stock footage. So people can just go through our library and just use our footage for like presentations or whatever. Well, then I went to the biggest electronic fair. I think it's even the biggest worldwide. IFA,
wow.
international of German. In German, it's called Internationale Funkausstellung. So the international fair for like transmission.
Okay.
So everything that
communication?
like transmission. So like I have a remote and I tell my my washing machine to
okay,
do it.
right.
I'm telling, or I don't know, your fridge communicating with your smartphone.
Okay.
But obviously also smartphones, everything that is wireless, for example, speakers, or so everything like in like this electronic field in a way. Where do I want to go?
That you found the footage that you.
Oh yeah. So I was hired to actually perform at that fair.
Okay.
So same thing, 4-5 times a day we were performing, but we had our like 2-3 hours in the middle to just we could either just chill, have lunch, but we often used it to just walk around because it's super interesting what kind of new technologies are on the market. So we walked around, and then I was I can name that company, Telecom.
Okay.
Most people know that company, right? So I went to Telecom just because we knew there was something happening. There was like some shows, so let's watch those shows. They had a whole building for themselves. Everything was really huge, and then we saw like a little stage, and we were like, "Oh shit!" There's like another performance happening, and we started seeing dancers, and then in the back there was a huge LED wall, huge, definitely a lot bigger than this room.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the height was probably about like 6 meters. The width was probably like 15 meters. Huge.
Wow.
So wherever you were inside that building, if you were on the right side, you could see what's happening on that screen. Guess what? My stock footage was on that screen.
Wow.
So just telling everybody, I could definitely get paid
a lot of money for
about,
that.
I don't know. I think a realistic price for that would be at least 5,000.
Yeah. Buyout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just easy. Maybe more.
Probably something between 5,000 and 10,000.
Yeah, because the thing, I think, and this is something
depending on how many years they can use it, right?
Exactly.
Let's say 1 year. So we have some audience here who's interested in prices. Yeah. Like I think something between 5,000 and 10,000 is a realistic price. Talking about who Telecom is and how many countries they might show that footage.
Yeah.
But if it's only about like showing it on this particular fair, I would say a realistic price is 5,000.
Yeah, sure.
Using it
for that one fair.
Only for that one
but
fair
they're
for
not.
6 days or whatever. That's probably what they had the rights from. But the company where I filmed the stock footage, I got paid 300. Yeah.
So Telecom got a good deal.
Probably really great deal. I don't know how much they paid the company to get the stock footage. They probably
not $5,000.
No, not
probably
less.
less.
Not at all. But and again, like some people know my signature moves, so they know I have this move where I jump into the bridge, kick my face, jump back, and jump into my invert and roll on my chest. They had this whole sequence on that big screen. So obviously, like I was like, oh my god, this is me on the big screen. Then I was like, oh my god, this is me on the big screen. Wait a minute.
And this is the crazy thing where it's like, it's easy to think of the thing that you're doing could seem small. Like, it's just a thing shoot. Like, what are they going to really use it for? Like, I had a thing where I sold some of my photography to, Penguin. They make books. They're a publishing company called Penguin. I don't know if you know. I don't know if it's only UK based, but it's a publishing company. I took some pictures of some people who did well in they're singers. They wanted to buy some pictures from me, fine, blah, blah. They sent me the contract. And it's like, for me, I was super excited. I'm like, oh, amazing. You want to like, it was not, I didn't take it for them. It took it a while ago and they wrote me like, hey, these pictures we saw, can we buy them from you to publish them? Fine. They sent me the contract and I sent it to a friend of mine. She's not like a lawyer or anything, but she is smart. So I just asked her like, can you check this? And she was like, one thing is not on there is the location and the time. So it's like
two most important things on the contract.
And it wasn't, it just said, we want to pay you this much to use these 4 pictures. And here's the like, and again, without getting too much into contract, it's like they're not buying the copyright to the pictures. They're buying a license to use the pictures. So if I was to sell the copyright to the pictures, it means I'm not allowed to use those pictures anymore, which is a much higher price I would ask for. It's like, oh, you need to pay me big money to take my pictures away from me. Now, all I'm saying is, I can use my pictures for whatever I want, but you can also use them in your book, for example.
And the question is, did that contract say if you were allowed to sell your pictures further?
Yeah, so basically what the contract was a license to use. So it just means...
So they were just allowed to use
allowed to use them. But because it's a license to use, you need to answer where are you going to use them or when.
And on which platforms?
And on which platform. Yeah, they had platforms in the contract.
Okay.
But what was missing was, it just said... like, for example, if they're going to use it only, and I'm saying this not really for you, but more for the audience, because you know this. But you know, if you're going to use these pictures, is it only in the UK or is it worldwide? Because you pay me more if it's worldwide than it is UK. And is it for 6 months, 1 year, for the rest of your life? Because if it's, you can use them forever, then it means, okay, it was for a book, right? So they published the book. Then what about the promo for the book? What about the TV adverts? What about if they want to remake the book? What if they want to do like a compilation of all their best books? And it's like, you're making a lot of money. So if you can use this forever, again, you pay me more. So I just wrote to, I mean, I don't think they were trying to like get me, but I just wrote them and I was like, hey, can you include this and this? And they said, okay, cool. It's I think it was worldwide contract for 1 year. And then I kind of checked like the price, how much they were offering. I was like, okay, I'm happy with that. That's fine.
I think it's, in business, it's always important to actually, as you say, it's just important to know what are your rights, and it's also important also to show your person you're talking to show them, hey, I know what I'm doing right here.
Yeah.
So knowing a few phrases of marketing, of contracts, I think it's just so important. It's just so important to know what a contract needs to state, as for example, when it comes to the right to use pictures. And in our case as dancers, I signed so many release forms. I probably signed thousands of release forms.
Yeah.
And all the release forms say for unlimited time and unlimited, what's it called? Unlimited location and unlimited media as well. So, and this is something that, I'm not gonna name the company. But major battles. Major battles. They use the footage for TV advertisements. They use the footage for branding on screens on events. They use the footage everywhere. And I think it's one thing as a dancer and as an artist in general. I think it's selling out your art is just so delicate.
Yeah.
So again, like, know what you're signing. I know that I signed so many release forms and I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also being careful about that, because these release forms, obviously, they give them the right to use your footage forever and everywhere.
Yeah, I was, it's funny, like, you know, we get so used to it, I guess, you know, with like phone updates, we just read the terms and conditions and accept or whatever. We don't even read it, you know, but like, even just recently I was going to Red Bull headquarters in UK, because we have some events there for the dance scene. And just when you go in, it's like you have to sign like in your name, who you're there to see. And then it just says, read this and sign to accept. And I was like, wait, I'm here to film. I'm here to do, like, I'm like, let me go back and check this. Like, what does this give you permission? Because I'm like, I don't want it to, you know what I mean? Like, and now it's like more my mindset of like, wait a minute, what? And I read it and it was like, okay, this has nothing to do with my content. It's just,
but I mean, you have so many moments where you also get rushed. Yeah. And this is something.
Sign this quick.
Yeah, just sign it. It's a regular release form.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was just doing a competition in Brazil 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
In Rio, and it was, they published the
I think I saw. Was there Vanessa and these guys were there as well?
Yeah, they were also there. So the battle was broadcasted live on TV Globo.
Okay.
Or TV Globo. which is probably one of the biggest sports channels they have in Brazil. And after winning that competition, my Instagram exploded, and I think I had like within 10 minutes 2,000 followers more.
Wow.
So yeah, like, but then they gave me the contract just before the final battle, and they were like, "Here, can you sign this really quick?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." They're like, "It's just a normal release form." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna read it." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's good, that's good."
But it's like, yeah, they kind of didn't want you.
No, but it was nobody from the TV. I think it was one of the dancers himself who was taking care of that. And then he mentioned like, "Oh damn, that's actually right. I think you're the only one who did that." And yeah, and this is
dangerous.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, again, it's TV. I signed my rights away for all that footage.
But it's a choice then.
It's a choice.
I
Exactly.
read it, I understand, I agree.
It's a conscious
Yeah.
choice that you're making in that moment.
Yeah, and it's not a wrong answer. It's just as long as you know, some like even on the other extreme, like sometimes we work for free, like sometimes we do a show for free, we help out a friend, I film for free.
Being invited to battles.
Yeah. Like I film for free all the time, and it's like, but as long as you know, this is my choice. Like,
Exactly.
what's the thing? Hey, we're not getting paid, blah blah blah. Okay, I still agree, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
Exactly.
I think also it's like you get to a certain level where you start to see yourself as a professional, and some younger dancers, they're just like, oh, but I'm just having fun. It's just my hobby, and it's like, yeah, but
You're ruining the business for everybody else, by the way.
And it's also like it's the company's job to take advantage of that.
Of course.
Not like they should, but that's what their mentality is like. Yeah, some of these people don't see themselves as professionals. Let's get them.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's one thing of being an amateur and also doing amateur work.
Yeah, sure.
And I think it's also, I don't want to put it down, and because I did a lot of work for free. You can't underestimate experience.
Of course. It's really important.
But then
actually,
there's a point where you're just done with experience.
Yeah.
And I think very important for every artist and performer to know is when is the point when they actually profit from having me, not me profiting from being here.
Yeah.
Because I've been just performing so many times on, as I said, like little like street fairs and little shows with like hundreds of not hundreds, but like let's say we're like 15 people on stage and we all just perform a little freestyle round. Sorry.
That's okay.
That just gave me so much experience back then.
Yeah. And it's like the no matter, like, it depends what you're doing, where your experience, because it's like you're saying experience, but you're not getting what you think you are sometimes. So like
let's see it as a internship.
Yes,
we do it like, okay, I study marketing, then I'm done, I have my bachelor. Okay, cool, I have no work experience.
Right.
Okay, cool, let me do an internship in a company that sells air filters. Very random air filters. It's COVID times. Okay, cool, I did my internship, I did the marketing, and I'm like, okay, maybe air filters are not my thing. Okay, let me go into a fashion company. Yeah, I have no like experience there. So okay, cool. And then I see another offer for a paid internship, and then I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I already did an internship. Okay, maybe I have no experience in fashion, but I should go into this what's it called, like the talk that you have with the manager. The negotiation with confidence, because I already did. I have my bachelor, I have my degree. Okay, maybe I can do a paid internship. Okay, cool. Maybe I'm not getting paid amazingly, but I'm getting paid for now. Okay, cool. So you have your internship where you didn't get paid at the air filter company. You have your internship at the fashion company. And then the next fashion company is offering a job or an internship. What are you going to do?
Yeah, you're not going to do it for free again, because now you're valuable.
Exactly.
And it's like, and it's also like, you have to understand what you're getting from the thing, because not what's the expression, like, not everything that glitters is gold. Like it's like I heard a lot of I spoke about this recently, but like a lot of dancers will do stuff for free sometimes because of the venue. They're like, especially in choreography, right? It's like, oh yeah, but it's good to have on my CV that I performed at this theater. And it's like, I spoke to some people that know like agents and stuff, and it's like, I don't think anyone's ever looked at a CV and gone, oh, you've performed at a big theater. It's like, yeah, but what did you do? Like, what was the job? If it was just a shitty show.
Just a little insight. I have not updated my CV for probably 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I don't even need a CV anymore.
Yeah.
Because the people, like, this is I think the goal, that at some point you don't need to send in a CV.
They come to you because of you.
Exactly.
And they already know you're a CV.
Exactly.
But it's like,
But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no. It's like if somebody said to me, we want you to perform in this dance show, right? For free. There's very few, I mean, it depends on the size or whatever, but there's very few things in that realm that I need experience of. I have a lot of experience with that. It may be, am I going to see it leading to an opportunity? I don't know. But mostly I dance for work or for battles or for fun, right? With something like this, so full transparency, like Groovanometry aren't paying me to do this. They're not paying me for the panel talk, nothing like that. But for me, this is like, I'm getting as much out of it. Like, I wouldn't have had a chance to speak to you if I didn't come. I wouldn't have
to say the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like I wouldn't have been able to do the panel talk, and I want more people to know about what I'm doing, and this is something that I need.
But this is not business, this is culture. And I think this is a big difference.
Also, yeah.
And again, like, if let's say there would be Reebok would be organizing this event, but then there would be a completely different aspect, because there's no major brand behind this event.
Right,
there's
exactly.
Nobody profiting from this event but the audience, and we want these people to have a great experience too. Yeah, because that's our culture, that's our community.
Yeah, and something that we're offering.
Right? Because we've had this before. Like, come on, we pay what, €5 for an entrance, £5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever currency you're using. You pay in that entrance 5 currency to get in, and you have an experience from morning till evening. You're meeting incredible dancers. I've been there, that I've seen the first IBE. I've been in a cypher with Hong Ten, and I was just like, oh my God, Hong Ten. Like, right? And then, I don't know if Hong Ten got paid to be at IBE. To be honest, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
I kind of think he got paid maybe his flight, and maybe he was judging some kind of part of the event. So
maybe for that.
Yeah, maybe he got paid for judging, but he didn't get paid for the experience that I had as
he
a
offered that for free.
Exactly, he offered that for free. And I think this is the difference that we're having here. Why we are doing things for free.
Yeah, sure.
And why we would be charging if there would be a major company behind this event. Because if there's a major company behind it, then this company looks great, right?
And there's money going somewhere. Exactly. Somebody's getting money. It might just not be, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I just think this is like, I mean, it's part of growing up in dance, and you make mistakes, and the arts in general, business in general, you make mistakes, you grow, and you learn these things. But I think it's just important to, like, and this is why I love everything you said today, is it's like, it's great to hear that it's like, sometimes I think that people have the impression of like, it's like, okay, I'm Jilou, I won some battles. Nike comes in, hey, we want to give you some money. And you're like, okay, cool. And it's like, it's not that. It's so much like understanding of business and marketing and what a business wants and negotiations and all these things. And it's like,
and how you come off, how confident you come off, about how much do you know. And we've been talking about business, we've been talking about contracts, we've been talking about all these things. Yesterday I've been talking about taxes. Because a girl that I met over here got she pretty much paid taxes in her country and in Germany.
Right.
Until I explained her the German tax system, we found out the dance school she was working for actually charged her to pay taxes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's just like, there's so many aspects that I would just say, read into it, inform yourself, and just know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and for me, like, I'm a real person of like, I always want to understand my craft. So like with photography, with videography, with even podcasting, it's like I'm studying people who do the interviews. I'm understanding the setup, what I can do, what's possible, how I can be better as an interviewer, as a talker, blah, blah, blah. But this same thing like extends to the business of these things. So understanding your craft as a dancer is not only your skill set and stuff, it's your marketing, it's your business, it's your how are you making money, what are you doing? It's like, it's all your craft, you know, and it's your art form is also the business side as much as the art side, if you're a professional with it. But I think we'll start to wrap up. I mean, I could talk with you for a long time, and I'm hoping we get to do some more. We have some we have some ideas.
Have something coming up.
Something tasty. But no, thank you so much for being here. Like, I had a great conversation. Thank you, Joe, for being here also. We love you. Everyone check out Monkey Flip Media.
Yep.
But honestly, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the panel talk as well. Thank you everyone for listening. If you don't already, check out at the capsule.ldn on Instagram, and our YouTube is the same, and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. This is everywhere. So check it out if you like this. I have some other podcasts with a lot of different people. I'm like in the 50s in terms of episodes now, so I've done a lot of interviews. But yeah, and shout out to Groovanometry for having me. You know what's funny? Yeah, for having all of us. I tried to do years ago. I had this idea to do some interviews, and it was Groovanometry was like the first time I tried it, and it was terrible. Like I didn't have any microphones. I was just recording off the camera, and I did it in a really bad place, and I never put the interviews out because it was just trash. But I always remember it's like they were the first people that were like, "Yeah, try out our event," and I interviewed just like some friends of mine and stuff. But yeah, so shout out to Groovanometry for believing in me from the beginning.
And if you want to read more from me, I have a blog. It's the Just Jilou podcast.
Soon.
No, it's justjilou.wordpress.com.
I'm gonna try and I'll get the link from you, and I'll try and put it in the description of this so people can click
notes.
and yeah, exactly. Yeah, and your Instagram is
at bgirljilou.
Bang.
Jilou.
Yeah, I mean, if you're following me and not Jilou, it's like I don't understand where you came in from this. It's like most of the people are probably seeing you and then discovering who's this other guy that's there. But yeah, no, honestly, thank you so much, and we'll chat more soon. And peace, guys.
Peace out.